half an hour, and then we'll take questions from people in the audience. If I can remind you all, please, to switch your microphones off while the presentation is on, so that Dr. Thomas isn't disturbed. And afterwards, if you want to ask questions, if you could please raise your hand, then we can bring people in order to ask questions. So thank you once again, Dr. Thomas, for being with us. And I'm going to hand over to you now. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard, sir. I hope this slide is visible.
Yes, it's very clear. Thank you.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's an absolute honor to present my research titled Development of an Educational App aimed at enhancing achievement and attitude towards inclusive education among primary school teachers. I'm Dr. Sini Regi Thomas, an educational leadership fellow from Perkins School for the Blind, Boston, and the group head of the Department of Special Educational Needs at Trins Group of Institutions, Kerala. So if we see the history of inclusive education, it has long been recognized as an essential aspect of inclusive learning. The Kothari Commission, as early as 1966, emphasized the importance of educating children with diverse abilities along with their neurotypical peers. The term inclusive education was formally introduced in 1985 during the International Conference on Special Education in Salamanca, Spain. Today, inclusive education means ensuring that all children, regardless of their abilities, are valued, accepted, included, and given equitable opportunities to participate in education. In India, the National Education Policy, NEP 2020, emphasized the importance of inclusive education. Every child with special needs and disabilities has the right to fair and equitable learning opportunities. The Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016, it also mandates that education systems adapt to meet the diverse learning needs of all students. However, while policy frameworks exist, the real challenge lies in their implementation, particularly in preparing teachers with the necessary knowledge and skills to create inclusive classrooms. So one of the major challenges of inclusive education is preparing teachers to handle diverse learners. Mainstream classrooms often include students with a variety of learning needs, and many teachers struggle to manage these challenges. This creates anxiety and frustration, leading to negative attitudes towards inclusive education. To address this, teacher training must be practical, innovative, and accessible. A key strategy for achieving this is the use of technology-driven solutions, such as educational apps. So the major barriers to implementing inclusive education include teacher attitudes, lack of knowledge, and inadequate training in inclusive practices. So in-service teachers often struggle to manage children with disabilities due to insufficient training, which results in frustration and stress. Studies by Hay, Smith, and Paulson highlight that positive teacher attitudes significantly influence the success of inclusive education. Therefore, improving teachers' skills and attitudes through digital tools can be a game changer. Several studies emphasize the importance of teacher training in inclusive education. Madhu 2020 found that targeted interventions can positively change teacher attitudes. Rastogi et al. In 2016 and Rose and Rajnahalli 2019 stressed the need for structured training programs. Despite the availability of resources, many teachers struggle to access them. This led me to explore an innovative solution, an educational app that integrates inclusive education principles into teacher training in a user-friendly format. After extensive analysis, I found that there is a significant lack of educational apps which will specifically design for training teachers in inclusive education. Since teachers often face time constraints and limited access to in-person training, an educational app can serve as an effective and scalable solution. My research focuses on answering a key question. Can the use of an educational app for inclusive education effectively improve teachers' knowledge and attitudes towards children with special needs? Teachers play a crucial role in ensuring the participation of all students, but they need proper support and training. Since achievement and attitude are key factors in professional development, this study aims to examine the impact of an educational app on these aspects. So the operational definitions and research questions in this study are: the development refers to designing the app using agile methodology. Educational app is the digital tool. It designed to enhance teachers' understanding of inclusive education. Achievement reflects teachers' comprehension of inclusive education principles. Attitude refers to teachers' empathy, interest, and responsiveness towards students with special needs. So the research questions are: does the app improve teachers' knowledge of inclusive education? Will it influence teachers' attitude towards inclusive education? Is there a relationship between achievement and attitude after using the educational app? The study aims to the major research objectives. First and foremost, design and develop an educational app on inclusive education. Then we have to assess the effectiveness of the app by comparing pre and post-test achievement scores. Then assess the effectiveness of the app by comparing pre and post-test attitude scores. Then analyze the relationship between teachers' achievement and attitude towards inclusive education. So the major hypotheses are: there is a significant difference in teachers' achievement scores before and after using the educational app. Then there is a significant difference in teachers' attitude scores before and after using the app. Then there is a significant correlation between achievement and attitude scores after using the educational app. The study follows an experimental design with a single group pre-post test model. There's a depth of educational apps which will be focusing on inclusive education. So I am not able to find any educational app which will be primarily addressing on inclusive education. That is the reason I was actually following an experimental design with a single group pre and post test model. So the independent variable, of course, it's an educational app, and the dependent variables are teachers' achievement and attitude. So the intervention duration in the schools were 4 weeks, and the statistical analysis using measures of central tendency, paired t-test, and Pearson correlation. So the study involved around 60 primary school teachers from Trivandrum district, Kerala, using a simple random sampling method. In fact, I have distributed the app link to around 100 teachers, but over the period of time, I could only collect the poster score from 60 primary teachers. So both government and aided school teachers were included. So the major tools alongside the IIRN is the name for the educational app, Inclusive Education Guide, the Inclusion Achievement Test, which I have created, the Inclusion Attitude Scale, IAS, have been developed to assess progress and attitude towards inclusion. So here comes the foremost part, that is the development of the Inclusive Education Guide, that is IIRN app. So the IIRN app was developed using the progressive web-based application. So it actually ensuring the accessibility. It can be easily accessed by both iOS and Android devices. This means that users can conveniently access the app through web links without needing to download it from the App Store. So it also ensures user privacy and data security. So the app does not store any personal user data. So it won't actually take any of your data, which makes it a safe and reliable tool for teachers who seek guidance on inclusive education. So the development of IIRN app followed an agile methodology. In fact, I was searching for many methods like waterfall, but agile methodology, which will be giving an added advantage of like we can do the changes. So it's a process that breaks down complex tasks into multiple phases. So these phases include project initiation, requirement analysis, planning, design, development, testing, deployment, and maintenance. So if we look at a closer look, the project initiation, in this phase, we clearly identified the objectives and goals of the educational lab. Then a mind map was created to outline the needs of the target users, define the content that would be, what are the content to be included, and estimate the time and cost required for development. So in the next phase is the requirement analysis. To create a meaningful learning tool, a focus group discussion was conducted with primary school teachers. So the goal was to identify the specific disabilities that should be covered in the as a self-instructional learning modules in the app. So if you see the RPWD Act, we have 21 disabilities. So it was not feasible for me to include all the 21 disabilities. So based on the focus group discussion, we have included 4 disabilities like intellectual disability, autism, specific learning disabilities. Actually, the teachers strongly advocated for the inclusion of ADHD also, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, recognize the increasing prevalence in classrooms. So they were like finding it really challenging to manage children with ADHD in classroom. So that also included. So in the planning phase, once the disabilities were finalized, the content was carefully structured. So we have done the validation, sending the content to the experts. So it has formed the self-learning modules pattern, one for each disability. So each module begins with specific learning objectives and concludes with the self-assessment tool. So once they will be scoring 80% only, the app will allow them to go for to the next module. So these modules cover key areas such as characteristics, strategies. So it's a kind of management techniques, screening checklist for teachers. So it's like a capsule for what are the skill sets or the knowledge part required for any inclusive educators. So if you see the design part, researcher worked closely with the app development team to finalize the visual layout of the app. So the first sketches were created, detailing the logo, user interface, content arrangement, transitions, animations, and navigation style. So this is the logo we have created. So this logo, like I was just thinking, it symbolizes a ray of hope for children with special needs, encouraging teachers to support them in mainstream education. The 2 hands in the logo represent the support, care, and a positive attitude from educators. The colors were chosen to resemble the warmth of like morning sunlight, reinforcing the idea of like new beginnings and possibilities. So when we see the user interface, this is a free educational app and developed for the research purposes. So teachers must register with the researcher through the pre-test form. So once they complete the pre-test, their details are added to the app, enabling them to access the learning modules and go to the resource center. From there, teachers can download relevant materials and implement inclusive practices in their classrooms. A lot of case studies also were being added. So on the administrative side, once the researcher has an interface to manage teacher registration and provide login credentials. So the development, once the planning and design phases are completed, the actual development of the app began. The app was officially registered under its full name, Inclusive Education Guide, reflecting its mission to support teachers in promoting inclusive mindset. So then we have made a user manual to help teachers navigate the eGap. So what is the workflow? So this is a screenshot of user manual and the testing phase. So we began by demonstrating a prototype of educational app, a team of subject experts in the field of special education. So this team included special educators, inclusion experts, and assistant professors in special education. So we provided them with the access details and sought their invaluable feedback, suggestions and modifications to enhance the app's functionality and overall user experiences. So their input has been instrumental in shaping the next phase. So in the deployment phase, following the expert feedback, we made the necessary modifications to the app. The newly revised version of EG was deployed to a team of experts in the field of educational apps for a comprehensive quality check. So for this assessment, we utilize the mobile application rating scale that is called MARS, developed by Stoyanov SR Heights and colleagues with the University of Queensland, Brisbane, Australia. So with the permission obtained from the creators, I have adapted the reliable tool to evaluate app on a 5-point scale, covering the areas such as engagement, functionality, aesthetics, information, and overall subject quality. So this is the quality check. The MARS tool provided clear insights into the quality of the app. So the expert ratings yielded an impressive mean score of 4.16 with the following breakdown. It's like engagement, we got 4.25, functionality 4.125, aesthetics 4.125, and information for 4.25. So the app quality mean score 4.16. Actually, here it is raining. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Thank you so much. So this is the maintenance phase. So in this phase, we addressed any issues identified during the quality check, including flaws of the code and the bugs. So the researcher meticulously tested every aspect of the app, including the different user views, to see the admin interface and the teacher interface to ensure that everything was functioning as planned. So now the eGAP app has been developed. So now we'll be moving to these are the screenshots of the eGAP. This is the workflow. If you see username, password, and it will direct you to Inclusive Education learning module. There is a learning center. So all these conditions are there. So in the resource modules, we have downloaded like a lot of resources or PDF, rating scales, and then videos, relevant videos. And as a reward, they can claim a certificate also, that which I have added. So the next one is Inclusion Achievement Test. So let me introduce the Inclusion Achievement Test, which was created based on the revised Bloom's taxonomy. So out of 55 items, 25 were selected for the final test. So ensuring the difficulty index and discriminating power and appropriate. So the next one is Inclusion Attitude Scale. So we also develop in the Inclusion Attitude Scale consists of 25 statements, both positive and negative, evaluating the dimensions such as personal interest, acceptance, empathy, self-confidence, and problem solving. So the reliability was measured using Cronbach Alpha, which for the scale was 0.696, indicating high internal consistency. So this is the conceptual framework. So the procedures adopted to begin with, researcher approached the schools and obtained permission to conduct the study. IIT and IAS were distributed to the participants and their responses were collected. Following this, an orientation session was held to guide the teachers on how to log into the educational app and make use of the user manual. So after a 5-week intervention period, the same tests were distributed again as post-tests to assess the impact of the app. So now we'll see the statistical analysis. Yeah, I have already discussed, and then we'll see the hypothesis testing. So as we mentioned earlier, we have formulated 3 hypotheses. Hypothesis 1, so there is a significant difference in the achievement towards inclusive education between the pre-test and post-test scores of primary school teachers. So the t-value calculated from the scores was 10.812. The p-value of less than it is actually 0.001. So basically it indicates the significant difference in achievement scores. So from the results, it is clear that the learning through the eGAP has been effective in enhancing achievement towards inclusive education. So hypothesis 1 was accepted. So hypothesis 2, when we see the t-value, it is like 2.649 with a p-value of less than 0.05. So indicating a significant difference. So again, the results show that the app has been effectively in improving teachers' attitude towards inclusive education. So it's all, the attitude means we will be like giving some case studies and then the teachers will be uploading their answers. So again, here also hypothesis 2 is accepted. It was accepted. So if we see the hypothesis 3, there is a significant relationship between the achievement and attitude towards inclusive education of the primary school teachers using e-app. So the Pearson product moment correlation, if you see, which is we have got it as 0.449, which is significant at the 0.01 level. So again, that shows there is a positive linear correlation between achievement and attitude towards inclusive education. So hence, hypothesis 3 also accepted. So if we see the conclusion, the developed educational app is effective in enhancing the inclusion achievement scores in primary school teachers. So the conclusion 2 is also positively influence the teacher's attitude towards inclusive education as evidenced by the significant improvement in the scores of the IAS, that is inclusion attitude scale. So if we see the conclusion 3, there is a positive relationship between achievement and attitude towards inclusive education, highlighting the improvements in one aspect tend to correspond with improvement in the other. So if we see the educational implications of the study, it enhances teachers' achievement and attitudes towards inclusive education. It can use as a MOOC curriculum for in-service teacher training. It provides as a valuable resource for pre-service and in-service teachers to prepare them for inclusive education classroom. It gives a novel approach in teacher training in India, backed by research. So if you see the future research and the app development, it actually serves as a guide for future educational technology. We could see a lot of educational apps. It can be a game and then phonics development, but we do not know what is the scientific reason, what is the research to be when the person will be wanted to develop an educational app. So this will give you a very clear guideline for any researchers or any app developers. So this is the systematic, the procedures and guidelines to be followed when you wanted to design an educational app. So there are a lot of delimitations as well. First and foremost, like we have used only agile methodology. Maybe some other, it can be substituted by alternative approaches as well. So right now we have included only 4 disabilities. So future researchers can expand this scope. And the sample was limited to primary school teachers. In fact, I have started in 2018, so just before COVID. So that time, like educational app, and then these ideas were like very limited. Everybody, I was also initially thinking to start one, maybe it can be like a teacher's manual or a teacher's handbook. Then I thought, like I was reading some reviews about educational app. Then I thought, okay, why don't I develop an educational app? So getting a proper review of literature was very minimal, and getting teachers also were very difficult. So right now we have implemented the single group design because I was unable to find an eco lab to compare. So I was unable to take a control or experimental model. So the future researchers can take controlled and experimental model. And I would like to express my deepest gratitude to my research supervisor, Dr. Praveen from CMR University, Bangalore, and Dr. Divyasi Senan from the Department of Education at Kerala University, and the educational lab team, my school, my principal, Mr. Richard Hilbrand, and Executive Director Sapnu George, and the entire SEN department, and my family and friends. So there are a lot of references. And so this year, my university has selected 3 theses for published as a book. So my thesis was one among them. So right now it is, you are able to purchase this book. So this is a guideline for anybody wanted to develop an educational app. So this will be acting as a guideline. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Thomas, for a most interesting and well-organized presentation. It was a pleasure to listen to you, and congratulations on getting this work published in book form as well, which I think is very important. I've said this on numerous occasions at this forum. We don't get enough work published from Indian researchers. There's a definite lack of good research out there. So to actually have an example such as this one, I think is very useful. If people would like to ask questions, if you'd like to raise your hand with the symbol that you have at the bottom of your screen, that would be useful. But perhaps I can start off by just making an observation and asking a question, Dr. Thomas. You've just said that clearly this is an initial piece of research that could be further developed. What are your thoughts about how that might happen? Are you going to do something yourself, or are you hoping other people will take this up and work with you? And how might that research progress itself? Would you like to say something about that, please?
Yeah, sure. That's a great question. Richard sir, I'm clearly looking for some funding opportunities as well. So as you mentioned, like, see, if it is a educational manual or a handbook, it is easy to maintain. It will be within library. But when it comes to educational app, every year we have to renew the license, like the domain name and everything. So we have registered through GoDaddy. So if I need to continue with the inclusive education name and everything, the domain name, we need to yearly we have to purchase it. So there is a financial element as well. So I'm clearly looking for some funding opportunities. And now, when I have conducted a quality analysis, it is actually quality analysis. I have done it as an extension part. So many teachers were telling that it was really, really useful, because when we are empowered with knowledge and skill sets, automatically our attitude changes. Because I know, okay, oh, there is a movement break to be given for a child with ADHD, then immediately, and then giving some privileges or giving a sensory diet or a calming corner. So some kind of like knowledge skills actually definitely benefiting for any general education teachers. So I'm really look forward to add more disabilities. That is one part. And it's all depends on the funding part as well. And I wanted to, right now it is very limited because it is a experimental mode only I have created. I really wanted to scale up to a large group of things, maybe to be uploaded in Google. I really wanted to publish it as a free tool provided with a financial support. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I see Sanjay Meena has raised a hand. Would you like to come in with a question, please? Sanjay there? Hello, Sanjay. Are you there to ask your question, please? Okay, in that case, Meena, would you like to come in with a question first then, please? We have people whose hands are raised but don't seem to be coming in with their questions.
Can I ask Professor Richard?
Please do, Sujata.
Yeah. So yeah, Sini, I just wanted to know, what is the cost of the tool right now? Is it already priced?
Ma'am, it's a free educational app.
Right now it's free.
Yeah,
Okay.
right now it is free. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you intend to make it reach more and more people? You know, right now people are not even aware what technology is available. So how do you intend that more and more people know about it and use it?
So the first and foremost, we have to register through Google so that anybody will be searching for inclusive education. The app will be like coming first. Now, if you see that National Institute, maybe, you know, that the Google will automatically project all these resources. So this all require the funding part. We have to register, and then, so once it is registered, it will automatically push it into the Google.
Have you tried to reach out to national institutes or institutes which are working particularly with technology? Maybe they'll be able to help you. Have you heard of Professor Dipendra Manocha in Delhi?
Unfortunately, no, ma'am, because as soon as I completed my PhD, I got educational leadership fellowship.
Right.
So I went there, and then this year I am back.
Right. No, there are many people who are interested in knowing about what apps are being developed in different parts of the country. And I'm sure they'll find a way to support you. And it is such a good tool. I mean, your research, I must congratulate you for a wonderful research in this area. We really need more and more research, because now we are talking about digitalization, and we all know, research based, evidence based, that any digital intervention definitely helps making a person with disabilities live more independently, less dependent on others, makes life so much more easier academically, and otherwise also, enhances in their life skills. So there will be people who will support you financially for making more and more people access this tool. So I can surely help you with couple of names. You can reach out to them and see if you get some financial assistance from them to make this tool more easily accessible to people around. So you've been talking about other 21 disabilities.
Yes.
I personally feel, instead of focusing on all 21, you've started very well with 4, which is good enough to begin with. So let at least those people with those 4 disabilities have an access to it, rather than right now thinking about adding more disabilities. I think more and more people should access this with those 4 disabilities. That should be the first thing. That's what I feel. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So I always believe inclusive education. One conference, like we were discussing, there are 3 parameters for any successful inclusive education program. That's called Dil, Will, Skill. Richard sir, Dil means it is heart. Dil
Yes.
is a Hindi word, and you should be having a will and skill. So these are the 3 rhyming words which actually consolidate everything. That because the attitudes are the foremost thing. If you have a mindset to help a child with a disability in your class, if it is 40 students or 50 students, no matter, you can help, because you are the role model. Every student will be looking forward to the teacher. The way you behave, the way you approach, the way you talk, everybody there. So we can create wonderful group of peer buddies. That's what, like, the Trivandrum International School strongly believe. If you can, I'm inviting everybody to come and visit our school. We have 17 special educators in our school with an excellent resource unit. So it's a full inclusion school, selected lessons. They will be coming to your class, taking all the training, and then going back. So the primary support which I'll be using, the peer buddies. So the neurotypical peers itself, they know when to give them the visual break, when to use the visual schedules. So that's what, like, half of our inclusive educators' job actually done with the help of them. So it's not difficult. If you have the Dil, definitely inclusive education is possible.
Good. Thank you. I see Krishna Kalita has a hand raised. Krishna, would you like to come in?
Hello, yes, sir. I have a question regarding the content development for the neurodiverse student. So, if we are considering that part, how we can start to develop a certain app, or is there any kind of app which can help me to come up with certain solution if I just focusing on, like, suppose one subject science. So is there any kind of app where I can take help, because I'm really interested like developing certain kind of educational material to teach like student with neurodiverse population. So if you can suggest something on that, it would be really helpful. Thank you.
In fact, this is a content primarily addressing to teachers. Okay, so the resource center, the learning modules are there, and the resource center will be having a lot of PDF materials, writing scales. Actually, the target group which I'll be aiming for, this is our teachers. So right now you're telling, so once that as a teacher, I'll be getting all the strategies, or I'll be equipped with all these things. I just wanted to implement with the classroom. So if the materials you wanted to develop or something, I would strongly suggest, as an inclusive educator, we can go forward with the principles of UDL, that is called Universal Design for Learning. So it is actually done by an organization called CAST in Massachusetts. There is a free resource, free educational course as well. And are you there in the IIRN group? so that I can share the group, share the post details in the group itself for the benefit of all the members. Please go through the universal design. There are 3 major parameters like representation of like expression, engagement. So once you get the element of the UDL, it is actually free. No need to prepare anything new. You can modify, adapt, differentiate the existing curriculum itself. So if it is an ICSE or a CBSE or a state syllabus, sorry, am I audible?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So
Yes,
any
fine.
syllabus, we can do all these 3 wonderful situations like differentiation, adaptation, modification.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, Sini.
Hi, Poonam.
How are you?
Yeah,
If
I'm good.
every teacher like a Sini, definitely inclusion can possible.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Poonam. Do we have other questions, please?
No, I already met her. I cleared all the questions.
Okay. Would anybody
Thank you.
else like to raise their hand with a question? No? Well, maybe this is a testament to what a clear presentation we've had from Dr. Thomas today. So thank you very much for that. I see Dr. Rajesh has joined us. So welcome, Rajesh. Obviously managed to escape from the Deputy Prime Minister, and good to see you with us now. Let's just have a...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The function just got over, and we had the visit of the Honorable Vice President, and I had to anchor the entire session. So I just got over and came back, and I thought I'll just join and say hello to everybody. And just was listening to Dr. Sini, though I had a good conversation with Dr. Sini with regard to her presentation maybe a month back, and she did a lot of good work when she went to US and did her assignments and did her assessments there. And good to see Dr. Sini.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Yeah.
So we've had yet another good session here at IIRN. Now, I know that there are many people out there who attend regularly, and we're always delighted to see you. Do try and encourage others to join and to come along to these sessions, because they're very informative, and it's time very well spent. There may also be people here in this audience who have something that you could present as well. And I'm sure that Dr. Rajesh would be very pleased to hear from anybody here who has something they would like to present at one of these sessions. As you would have seen, they're very friendly. There's no pressure put onto people, and nobody is hypercritical of anything that is presented. So it's a good, friendly, safe forum in which you can present your ideas and promote some discussion. So if any of you have anything you want to say that you think would be appropriate to these sessions, do please get in touch with either Dr. Rajesh or myself, and we will certainly consider how we can do that. Rajesh, do you want to add anything to that?
I think everything you have said, Richard sir. I have been getting a lot of requests with regard to the presentations. I've got requests from many of the IIRN members, so I'm trying to schedule it properly. So yes, definitely they can just ping me up, and we will definitely schedule them in the coming months. And please, all the IIRN members, do remember that things will go on, and we will fix the schedule as per our norms. So every month, last Friday, we have the session. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Rajesh. So then, it's been good to be with you all again today, and I look forward to seeing you all in February. And in the meantime, keep up the good work that you're all doing to support teachers and children and others out there who are perhaps struggling at the moment with their education. So thank you all very much, and goodbye.
Thank you, Professor Richard. So good to see you and connect with
We'll
you.
meet on
Bye-bye.
28th February next month. We'll meet all. Thank you. Thank you, Sujata ma'am. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you,
Shantanu, you want
Professor.
to
For
conclude? Please conclude.
Okay, sir. So thank you, Professor, for moderating the session, and thank you, Dr. Sini, for the most informative session. I thank Member Secretary IIRN, Dr. Himanshu Das, coordinators Dr. Rajesh Ramchandran, Dr. Anamika Sinha, Dr. Mallikarjuna, and Dr. Nitika, and all the participants for making the session a successful one, and looking forward for everyone's support in the upcoming sessions. Once again, thank you all.
Thank you, Shantanu. Thank you for conducting the webinar. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, sir.
Yeah, we'll meet all on February 28th. Thank you.